It is well established across the world that liver transplantation is the ultimate solution for the treatment of end-stage liver disease, end-stage liver failure with complications of cirrhosis. Now, when patients present to us with end-stage liver disease, fitness for surgery and the timing of surgery depends on the severity of liver disease and the presence of complications such as the onset of ascites, spontaneous bacterial peritonitis, renal dysfunction, etc. So the best outcomes for liver transplantation are achieved when the liver alone is affected but the remaining organ systems are well preserved. As we well understand, the liver, all the organ systems in the body work in harmony, and liver failure is followed by the decrease in function of the other organs, which ultimately results in the death of the patient. So when patients present to us with severe liver dysfunction, which can be calculated on the basis of several mathematical models available to us, such as Child score or the model for end-stage liver disease, or the MELD score as we want, or there are technical complications such as portal vein thrombosis, which means a block in the vein which carries the majority of the blood flow to the liver from the intestines, or the onset of hepatocellular cancer. Hepatocellular cancer, for instance, is 100 times more common in patients with liver cirrhosis due to the high cell turnover compared to patients with normal liver function. So these patients can still be offered liver transplantation provided the cancer is limited to the liver and there is no involvement of any major blood vessels in the liver. So we follow what is a criteria called the UCSF, or University of California San Francisco criteria, which involves a total tumor diameter of 8.5 centimeters and not more than 5 lesions in the liver, to ascertain which patients would benefit most from this transplantation. And also, foreign nationals in India undergoing a transplant in India cannot be offered a liver transplant from a deceased donor unless there are no takers for the liver in the state and then outside of the state in Indian citizens. So these are the patients who undergo living donor liver transplantation with us. Living donor liver transplantation is a very safe procedure, and as we all know, the liver has a 70% of functional reserve capacity. So a normal person is able to donate about 70% of their liver volume without compromising their liver function in any way. Also, the liver has a unique property in which in 2 months' time the liver grows back to its normal size, both in the donor as well as in the recipient. So it's essentially one liver giving rise to 2 livers. So because of this, we are able to undertake living donor liver transplantation successfully. The requirements are that the donor should be between 19 and 55 years of age, otherwise healthy, not having any liver disease, and also we calculate the volume wherein we establish that after giving the volume that is required for the donor, a minimum of 30 to 35% is left behind in the donor. The workup is complicated because we do not want to undertake any form of risk in the donor, and the workup in the first stage involves a general health checkup or a liver donor screen, wherein we establish the general health of the patient, much like a whole body checkup. The second stage involves a CT scan, where we establish the liver volume, assess that the functional volume of the liver is as required for the recipient, as well as an adequate functional volume of the donor is left behind. We also look at the anatomy of the artery, hepatic artery, the portal vein and the hepatic veins in this patient. And subsequently, the third stage involves assessment of the cardiovascular, cardiopulmonary and anesthesia fitness for the donor to undergo transplantation. And the final stage, of course, is obtaining clearance from the authorization committee. The government has recognized a set of close relatives who are called near relatives, that is the spouse, the parents, the children, or the grandparents in case of young children, or siblings, who can obtain clearance easily from a hospital authorization committee. All other relatives will have to be cleared by the state authorization committee for transplantation. Now, once this, we do not accept any risk on the part of the donor. So even though after all these stringent checkups are undertaken, there is still a very small risk that of a problem in the donor, and this donor mortality worldwide is recorded at 0.2 to 0.3%. That is 1 in 200 to 1 in 300 donors stands a chance of some risk. This would probably be not be possible to reduce the risk below this because of a certain magnitude of the surgery and the anesthesia undertaken in these patients. However, on this evaluation, if we find any form of risk, we do not accept the donor in that case. So living donation has been offered with great success. The advantages of a living donation include that you can offer a timely transplant in an optimized recipient, wherein there is no waiting time or waiting list involved. Each recipient comes with their donor who is meant to donate for that recipient, and after evaluating the recipient and the donor, the operation can be carried out in a planned fashion. So the risks of being on the waiting list are also are taken away. Also, we can work up the donor and ensure that there is a healthy liver from an healthy donor. We can choose the liver quality, for instance, because we are working up the donor in terms of volume, the quality. We ensure that the graft is going to be healthy and the branching patterns are also known prior to the surgery. The intricacies involved that this being a partial graft, the joints made are much more smaller and they require meticulous technique. However, worldwide, the overall outcomes of living and deceased donation have been shown to be the same. There is also, you're going to meet one of our the results that we have obtained are at par with the best centers across the world, and it would be about 90% at 1 year patient on graft survival, which comes down to only about 85% at 3 years, 80% at 5 years, and remain at around 78% at 10 years after the transplant. Therefore, and the living donor being healthy does not require any form of medical checkup, medication or follow-up for the remainder of their life. They can go back to the work that they are doing if it is a physically active job in about 8 weeks time, or if it is an office job, they can be back to their work in about 6 weeks after the transplant. You will be meeting one of our recipients that we performed recently, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Teddy from Tanzania, who has undergone a living donor liver transplantation for primary sclerosing cholangitis. His son, who donated the liver, is back at work in Tanzania within a month after operation. People from abroad, more and more people are coming forward to get transplants done here in our country now, because of the results that we offer are at par with the best centers across the world at costs that are much lesser compared to centers in the US and Europe together. So these numbers are increasing by the day, and we have done several transplants of people from African, Asian and countries across the world.